Chris is kind of right, but not entirely. Hayes, the point you're making about, like, nobody can ever go to their GM and say, we're going to pin this guy's price out.
It's not about Marner. I'm not saying don't go get whatever you can get. That's not my point. What I'm saying is like Marner, what is he, the 22nd best player in the league, let's say. That's arbitrary. Sure. Maybe you'd have him 15th. Maybe someone have him 28th. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
Draisaitl is the second best player in the game. Maybe you have him third. Maybe you have him fifth. But he's in the top 5.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying, is that the idea that you go to your owner and say, I am going to give a right winger with the playoff performances that he has the most money anyone's ever been given in the league. It's crazy.
That's how sports work. It always happens.
Name someone that got more than LeBron.
This happened. It happened in the NBA like 2 years ago. Jaylen Brown was the richest, got the biggest contract.
$40 million.
That's different. Jaylen Brown was with Boston, and the NBA CBA is basically, if you hit certain check marks, there's not even really a negotiation.
Yes.
But not as a free agent.
Okay, answer me this. Let's say Draisaitl didn't sign the extension. He was going to become a free agent right now. What would he get?
18.
Okay, so
he wouldn't 16. Go up $4 million.
15, 16, like he chose to sign early. Like
I understand all of this. Again, you guys
aren't
actually talking about what I'm talking about.
I'm actually listen. No, I want to interject here for a second because I understand exactly what you're saying, Johnny and Jonas. But what Brian is saying is the optics of this is awful. And how do you do? Awful's the wrong word.
But someone is eventually going to pass Draisaitl noodles. Like it's going to happen.
Connor McDavid, Jonas. That's my point.
Well, he's going to pass Marner. He's going to pass Marner too. So what's the difference?
Again, Marner can get whatever he wants. I'm not trying to withhold him from getting money.
You're saying this is not about Marner. This is just about Draisaitl.
I'm saying it's weird that the league may have the highest paid player be like the 22nd best player in the league, who's never won anything, and like that. That to me optically is very strange. That's what I'm saying.
How much time has to elapse before you're comfortable with the idea that the rising cap is going to, like, players who are not as good are going to get paid more than players who are better who have signed a long-term deal? Is it 1 year? How long is it going to be before you're going to be okay with it?
Good point, and I don't have an answer for you, but you're right. I mean, it's going up, and everyone's floating up, and all. And again, I'm not saying Mitch shouldn't, like, for me, should get basically what Rantanen got. Like, Rantanen also just signed for 12. His agent knew. The Stars knew. How do you justify Rantanen getting 12 but Mitch getting 14.25?
He's going to the free market.
I get it, but Rantanen he could have as well, and he decided. All right.
I like this.
Yes.
But it's not. It was the free market, Jonas.
It wasn't.
No, it was, because he could have said, I'm not signing with you. And Dallas was like, well, we really want you. And he's like, all right, well, then let's work this out. Pay me what I want. And they said 12, and he took it. He could have stayed in Carolina and played it out. He didn't. And, again, that was like a month ago, a guy who's on the same wavelength, in fact, better, certainly in the playoffs, signed for 12. And Mitch is going to get $2.25 million more per year, and a team's going to say, I can justify that? That's crazy. It's crazy behavior. I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm not predicting it won't happen. I'm just saying if and when it does, it's absurd.
Well, let me ask you guys this then.
We've talked about
I know the cap
deal.
implications.
Yeah. Yes. And we've also known the Scarch issue for Rantanen getting bounced around. He wanted the security of a deal. He didn't want to take it to open market. Go ahead, Noodles.
Well, I was just going to say, is there a contending team that is going to be able to fit him in? That would be or is it going to be the
Vegas.
Utahs, the Chicago?
Do you think Vegas will pay him 14.25?
I don't think he's going to get 14 in Vegas.
They will pay him net tax $13 million contract. A Toronto 14 is a Vegas 10.5. They'll give him that.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. So, but the point being is his cap hit will be 10.5. It won't be 14. That's the difference, right? Like that's so.
If he goes backwards on 10.9, that will be hilarious.
But the point, like my point, Johnny, is he's not going to be walking around. So the PA doesn't list it with an asterisk saying he's in a tax-free state, so he's only
do take-home pay. They do cap.
Right, exactly. They do. So my point is if he is going to get a number north of 14, is it going to be on a contending team? That would be my question.
Anaheim, Utah, Montreal, Chicago, Detroit, all would be willing. Toronto, would not do 14, but something close to it. Toronto might be the best team that he can get the most money from, really, to be honest.
Well, 8 years. Yeah.
And get that 8th year as well. But I don't know what you think of Anaheim as a team, but they would certainly be up and running. I don't. Utah is not a contender, but they're not garbage. And maybe even Carolina. Now, Carolina won't give him 14. They will not. But they're a good team, and they would give him a contract that would make him one of the highest paid players in the league. He might get a good team.
Yeah. I mean, and there might be teams moving money around or whatever also, right? You can free up stuff. And it's kind of difficult to do this because it's been 7 years. But if you can recall when Tavares signed here, who do you think is a higher profile free agent? Mitch Marner, where he is today, or John Tavares, where he was 7 years ago?
I mean, so you said higher profile. It's Mitch because he's coming from Toronto versus John Tavares, who may have been a better player, although he wasn't. John Tavares he never had.
He was a Hart Trophy finalist twice.
He was, the one time he tied it with Jamie Benn that weird year with 89 points. But Mitch is probably slightly higher. I mean, the point totals are up. The exposure in Toronto is up. The hype around his contract and his career is much greater than what John Tavares was when he was leaving the island. So, as far as profile, I would say Mitch. As far as player, that's a more in-depth conversation.